Welcome to the Blitz review of Helldivers 2. Let's dive right into it. Pun intended. Now, Helldivers 2 is a very good co-op game, especially for those of you who are tired of the competitive scene. If you've been playing PvP a lot, Valorant, Counter-Strike, Dota, League of Legends, you know that these games become a bit too toxic and too frustrating at times. And to be completely honest, it's not the game's fault, but because you always have to play against other people, and in theory, on a surface level, your enjoyment comes from winning. But that means that for you to enjoy the game, the other person has to lose. This automatically creates this balance where, for one to have fun, the other has to suffer. So it's only natural that these games are a bit tedious, let's say. However, with Helldivers 2, it's a co-op PvE game where you can finally relax. That being said, though, unlike some PvE games, they just don't lack, they lack the depth, they lack the variety. You don't want to go too deep into it, or there's just not much replayability going on. Helldivers 2 fixes this to a certain degree. There are some nice weapons that you can unlock. There's a good progression system with the war bonds and everything. There is a nice difficulty scale up, with each difficulty actually, in my opinion, making the game even more fun to play and make the whole experience even more enjoyable and rewarding. And of course, alongside that, so far the community is nice. Although the game is now in a decline in terms of popularity quite steadily, there are reasons for this, and I'll get to them right now actually. The game is good. However, before you buy and dive into it, keep in mind a couple of things. So first of all, there are some annoyances. Now, when I mean annoyances, the developers have been making some changes and adding some changes which don't make sense for a PvE game. Now, to be completely honest, it's nice to spice things up. However, when you look at Helldivers 2, what has to be improved is the missions are too repetitive. After you've done it a couple 10, 20, 30 times, you're tired of launching the same damn rocket because already all the landmarks look the same. And when you look at the planets, yeah, they have some events, some of them have firestorms, some of them have snow, some of them have meteorites falling on your head. Well, that sounds cool. In reality, the problem is every single planet is almost the same. It's just rock, which is blue, rock, which is red, rock, which is purple, rock, which is yellow. So there's not much to it. It would be cool to see cities. It would be cool to see abandoned villages, abandoned more facilities, infrastructure, not just out of nowhere in the middle of nothing. There is just a research center, and then there is this place where people stay. That doesn't make any sense. Just they need to work on this. They need to add this. However, what the problem was, instead of thinking of this as a solution, the developers try to overcorrect and nerf guns. It's a PvE game. Why are you nerfing guns instead of trying to balance them by making the other guns more viable? I don't understand this. And before you say anything, the hardest difficulty of this game, and this could be a biased opinion based on my own experience, the hardest difficulty of this game is not hard at all. At most, it is annoying. And the reason why it could get annoying is because of the enemies such as the Shriekers that they add. Or now they add this new beetle, or the charging bug, which takes more hits to kill. This is like, I just want to clap and say this is very bad game design, and it adds nothing new. It just creates a nuisance. It's not exciting, it's not entertaining, it's not fun, and it just gets you the feeling that the developers are realizing that you're dunking on their game and having too much fun doing it, so they start making everything more difficult so that you don't have fun. But what they end up doing, it's still easy. You can still complete these hell dive runs without even dying once, but you just have to mash the keyboard and the dive button even more because of these stupid annoyances. So keep that in mind. Also, the war bonds themselves, the first one is worth it, that you get for free, and the later stage the war bonds get, especially with the latest one now, the more useless they become. The new weapons that they add don't bring anything to the table. There's no real substance to them. It's just a fancy new toy which you will try once and then you will realize that if you play with it, it's just gonna create some more problems to you. If you diverge too much from the meta, you get screwed. Although I will say it still gives you enough flexibility. Like you can build a whole sentry build, nothing else, only sentry stratagems. So turrets, 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 and you will definitely pull off even the hardest difficulty, no problem. Trust me, I did this multiple times. It's not a problem. That part is fun. However, I think the game lacks a bit of direction in the right place. So, what's the verdict then? I just said two very contradicting things. I praised the game and then I shit on a couple things. Well, to be completely honest with you, this game is very fun. I had my fair share of hours in it, I think over 100 at this point, easily. And for the money that you pay for it, the experience that you get is really refreshing. It's really good. Although I must warn you, don't be so confident. If you are looking for a game that you can sink in your time and then 2 or 3 years down the line, it's still going to be worth sinking your time in. It's going to be, building up to something. I'm not saying it will not happen, but I just have the suspicion that the developers are not on the right roadmap to make this game evolve in a way that will bring more attention. I feel like they're just too busy cranking up some more buns and doing some rock reskins. Maybe the next rock will be piss yellow. I have no idea. Maybe it's gonna be pink. But they just focus on the wrong things, and that could inevitably cause this game to completely fall off. You can already see the player counts just dropping, and there's a good reason for this. It's a bit repetitive, as I mentioned. The new items and gears don't make any sense. The new upgrades for the ship are just stupidly expensive for the sake of being expensive and don't bring any value or add anything important. So overall, I recommend it still. Definitely give it a shot. For the money, I think it's worth it. For the time that you will put in, it's worth it. And hopefully the developers will actually push through, pull this game into the right direction, add some new maps, let's call them, new planets with interesting features, abandoned cities, ruined facilities, maybe caves, I don't know, but anything but walking on the same flat surface and finding these same copy-paste landmarks which have no sense of being there, no connection whatsoever, and just nothing interesting to explore beyond just finishing the objectives. So yeah, but let me know also what you think. If you agree, if you disagree, maybe you have a better point. Hell, maybe you think that the hardest difficulty is hard. And for automatons, I will say, compared to the Terminate or the bugs front, the robots are definitely more challenging. Although still, what I say stands, the hardest difficulty is not hard. Just, it gets a little annoying and that's it. Oh well. Thank you for sticking by for this hopefully short review. And if you hop into Helldivers, just remember, don't be the asshole who friendly fires everybody and then leaves the game. Not cool, guys. Please don't do that. Or at least if you do that, don't do that to me. Thanks. No, just kidding. Just generally enjoy. Don't force people to follow metas. Don't kill people because you were called 2 seconds too late. Just let people enjoy. This is a co-op game. People hop into this to have fun. And if you are there, if you see me, remember to say hi. I'm always happy to play with you guys. Not in that way. Oh well, until next time, I wish you a great morning, evening, afternoon, night, whatever time of the day it is out there for you. And hey, stay safe. Most importantly, remember, when you play games, have fun. That's the whole point. Have fun. See you later.